Russian mental patients are awesome. They have trouble with the Russian police, they have trouble with the Russian government, and they loathe the Russian intelligence services and the Russian security services. Indeed, this is just how I'm feeling at the moment. Indeed, I have problems with the British police, I have problems with the British government, and I loathe the British intelligence services, and I loathe the British security services. So it's all a very interesting situation indeed. I'm not an operative of a foreign government, but I have an affinity for Russian mental patients indeed. I'm deeply immersed in Russian mental hospital culture, just as I am immersed in British mental hospital culture. Indeed, the psychiatric systems of Britain and Russia are both psychopolitical systems and are therefore interlinking in a large psychiatric gulag coordinated by Illuminati shrinks, i.e., Illuminati psychiatrists who wish to shrink our minds and control us and stop us from thinking certain thoughts that the system does not want us to think. Indeed, that's the whole point of psychopolitics, is that man will no longer be individualist in his thinking, but solely a collective organ of the state function. So it's all very interesting to consider the psychopolitical gender and how it interlinks between the United Kingdom and the Soviet Union, what with the perestroika concept actually being a deception, and the KGB still run the Russian Federation. Indeed, the Russian Federation is still the Soviet Union, with the KGB, the organs, still running the show, just as they seem to run a lot of the system in Britain also, what with the KGB infiltration and penetration of the Masonic lodges beginning in the 1930s, completed by the GRU in the 1950s, being that Britain is effectively a Soviet puppet country. It is all very interesting to consider. It seems that the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst have a lot more influence on US politics and US geostrategy, whereas the Soviet continuum seemed to have a lot more influence over British politics and British geostrategy, with both Nazi and Soviet continuums being parallel, illuminist, dialectical continuums. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, the psychiatric system is coordinated by the Illuminati via networks of Masonic lodges in Britain. Indeed, the majority of psychiatrists in the United Kingdom are initiates of a Masonic lodge. And these Masonic lodges are illuminized through the German intelligence function, the Ordo Templi Orientis, Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst Continuum, having basically taken over the rituals and rites of the English Masonic Lodge, in coordination with the penetration of the Masonic lodges by the KGB and later the GRU, both being Illuminist continuums, as is the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst. So there's basically been a complete Illuminist occupation of the Masonic lodges via certain intelligence networks. So it's all interlinking. Indeed, I'm very much influenced by the conspiracy theories of many Russian mental patients. Indeed, several Russian mental patients actually talk to me inside of my head, and they help me to counter the voices that the parapsychologists from the GRU, the Russian Military Intelligence Services, put into my head to attempt to stop the influence of the Russian conspiracy theorist mental patients that I enjoy listening to. Indeed, there is a battle going on in my mind. I'm also pretty sure that the British Royal Arch Freemasons have infected my mind with techno demons also at various points over the years. Indeed, both the British intelligence services and the Russian intelligence services set several neo-Nazi groups on me to attempt to sway my thinking towards a philosophy that would be in accord with the intelligence agenda of both the British intelligence structure and the Russian intelligence structure. However, I would never go along with the program. So this mind control and psychological warfare for my brain is continuing by the British and Russian intelligence structures, and also the psychotronic weapons, which I believe are directed at me by both British intelligence and Russian intelligence. Indeed, I seem to be trapped between two evils, i.e. British intelligence, and especially the security services and defense intelligence, it seems, i.e. the British military intelligence structure, and the Russian intelligence services. And indeed, I believe my targeting is coordinated by the FSB, i.e. Russia's internal security services, which is interesting considering you would think that I wasn't actually on Russian soil, yet I'm being targeted by the internal security services of the Russian Federation, which means there is a direct interlinking between Crown Land and the Soviet Empire. So whether or not the Pope still has hegemony over the United Kingdom, I do not know. Indeed, it seems that the Soviet Union now has possession of the land of the United Kingdom. Indeed, the contract is most probably agreed between the papacy and the Soviet ministries, but I'll have to do some more investigation to truly figure it out. Indeed, many Russian mental patients are absolutely awesome. During my time in a Belgrade mental hospital, I met several Russian heritage mental patients, and they were some of the coolest guys I have ever met. However, the Russian intelligence services are some of the worst people on the earth. Indeed, sadists, rapists, thugs, and brutal murderers seem to be commonplace in the Russian intelligence structure. Though there are some very sexy women in the Russian intelligence structure, and they are welcome to visit me at any time. Indeed, it's all a rather crazy concept to really consider, the fact that I am in targeted individual programs of two countries. Indeed, I believe there may be a fight on for my citizenship, in which case I would be deported to the Russian Federation and thrown into a psychiatric hospital for the rest of my life. Indeed, I believe this is the Kremlin's plan for me. They wish to claim to the British ministries that I am a Russian citizen, and therefore I can be deported for espionage against the British system, which isn't actually what I'm doing. I'm not engaged in espionage against the British state. So this argument could potentially fall flat. However, I am not sure if I am a British citizen at all. So it's all very interesting to consider. I am an electroshock amnesia patient from a Belgrade mental hospital, but my ethnicity is not Serbian. So it's all very interesting to consider exactly what is going on. Though I shouldn't talk too much about these things, because this may be used as proof in the deportation process that I am not a British citizen. Indeed, at the moment I am operating under a British birth certificate, though I'm not entirely sure it is my birth certificate. It may well be my birth certificate, and I am just a really, really delusional human being, but I do not feel as if I have any accord with this guy. Indeed, since the age of 22, I've certainly been the person I am now. The memories I have of this guy's life before the age of 22, and they're a bit patchy. I'm not entirely sure this guy is me. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, I'm basically a mental patient influenced by Russian mental patients who hate the Russian government and the Russian intelligence structures, running around the countryside, totally delusional. And I may or may not be knocking out organ rings. This is the thing. I do not know if my theories are correct. So you have to be careful in watching these videos because these are merely theories. They are not necessarily 100% correct. So it's all very interesting to consider, really. Indeed, this is an ongoing examination. And I often discard my own theories. So I I don't exactly know what to say. Indeed, the British police, i.e. Warminster Police Department, seem to want to come to some sort of arrangement. And I'm open to coming to some sort of arrangement with the Warminster Police Department. And the arrangement that I would like to make with the Warminster Police Department is that they do not interfere with my day-to-day activities or my operations. And if they do that, I will not talk about them on camera. So, or in the street. So, well, yeah, we'll try that anyway. But yeah, so if the Warminster Police Department would like to come to an arrangement, it is possible to do so. Because I'm kind of getting a little bit angry with myself for slipping into delusions regarding the local police departments. Indeed, I know that the local police departments are very corrupt and nefarious and vile, and the operatives of the various Wiltshire police departments are really heinous, vile, dirty, sinister beings. But I don't particularly want to be talking about the locality all the time. Indeed, I have bigger fish to fry than Warminster PD. So I'm going to move on from that topic. Indeed, I'd like to talk a lot more about mental patient folklore and about the Mad Housekeepers Guild and the networks of really sinister psychiatrists that are basically coordinating a lot of the Illuminati's agenda. Indeed, certain core cabals at the top of the Illuminati pyramid are psychiatrists. Indeed, John Rawlings Rees, the head of the Tavistock Institute, who was a British military intelligence operative with connections to the Abwehr, he posited that cabals of psychiatrists should be running the country, and that 5,000 psychiatric shock troops would be enough to police the nation. Indeed, this is psychopolitics via British intelligence lenses. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, this is also eugenics, as the majority of British intelligence really do not like people like me. Just as in the situation in Russia, the KGB units and the GIU absolutely despise mental patients. Indeed, the intelligence services of Britain and Russia find us to be very hard characters to contain. Indeed, I can't remember who it was, but there was one psychiatrist who basically made the statement that schizophrenics are a bunch of maladjusted crooks. We may be maladjusted crooks, but we are lovable maladjusted crooks. And the thing is, we are operating against your system, and you don't like it because we have certain powers of extrasensory perception and interconnectivity with cosmic intelligence. And I think this is really what really scares the cryptocracy, is the interconnectivity with extrasensory perception and cosmic intelligence that is embodied in the schizophrenic mind. And the cryptocracy are absolutely terrified of this interconnectivity. Indeed, sometimes with me, when my extrasensory perception is risen, I almost feel that the angels are coming down. Indeed, the ghosts of the dead Bedlam lunatics who fought against the system, and the ghosts of the dead Russian mental patients, the Gromovs, who fought against the system, they inhabit my head. And together we are operating this conflict with the Anglo-Soviet cryptocracy. which I'm now beginning to see more and more as one continuum. So it's all very interesting to consider. I do believe that the GRU basically took over the British intelligence services in the 1950s after the groundwork was laid by the organs, i.e. the KGB, Felix Jasinski's networks, in the 1920s and 1930s. Indeed, a lot of this was through local councils, interestingly, by Communist Party members well placed in local councils. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, there seems to be an endgame plan for the Anglos by the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst and the Soviet KGB GRU continuums, though I do not know exactly what this endgame is. And there are so many British intelligence operatives on board with this agenda that it seems to be eugenicist in its nature and psychopolitical in its theory. So I have a lot of decoding and analysis to do. However, due to the frequencies I am receiving through the radiation, it's making it more and more difficult because I'm receiving rather difficult frequencies to handle, i.e. horrible things being said about me through the radiation beams, which is really annoying. It's strange because I can't actually quite figure out who is coordinating this radiation of me. I have various theories that it's either Wiltshire Police or the Soviet GRU or the British MI5 structure, but it could be all three. Indeed, I seem to be a very targeted man by these agencies. And however, a lot of police women want to sleep with me, which is very interesting. I'm not entirely sure what the sexual fascination with a lunatic mental patient is, but there seems to be one. However, I don't think I could go through with sleeping with a policewoman. Even if she was ridiculously hot, I don't know if I could do it. But we'll have to see what happens. That's the thing. Indeed, several women in British intelligence also want to speak with me, though I'm finding this attention from these authority figures to be rather scary. Indeed, I honestly wonder what GCHQ are thinking when they watch me on the screen, because I must be very irritating for the people that have to monitor me and monitor my videos and monitor all of my content, basically. I must be very annoying because I know I am a very annoying person. Indeed, everybody gets annoyed with me. I'm just an irritating human being, but I love being me, and I love being a lunatic, and I wouldn't have had my life turn out any other way than it has. Indeed, I am now a lunatic from the British mental health system. That's basically all I am. But I'm very much influenced by Russian mental patients also. Indeed, although the majority of my philosophies are Anglo philosophies, and the majority of my research is done through Anglo weirdos, I'm also heavily influenced by Russian weirdos. So we have a fine balance. Indeed, the Anglo and Russian weirdo contingents are in an ongoing psychological war with British intelligence and the Russian intelligence and security services. It is quite interesting to note that it is the FSB who had designated me for targeting, considering at the time I was designated for targeting by the FSB, I was not on Russian soil. I was in Devizes, unless that means that Devizes is technically Russian soil. So that is all very interesting to consider, considering my theories that Britain is an appendage of the Soviet Union. So perhaps, at the time, in Devizes, I was actually on Russian soil. And therefore the FSB designated me for targeting rather than MI5, which means the Sabbatean networks and Illuminists running the FSB supersede the MI5 networks in the Illuminati hierarchy. So that's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, I would like to remind anyone viewing this not to take everything I say as absolute truth, because this is all working theories. Indeed, I am trying to work out the enigma, basically, of my own life through this series of schizophrenic video diary entries. And all of this is a working theory, and hopefully it will continue to go on. Indeed, I'm going to leave the exposures of the Warminster Police Department for now and move on to the Anglo-Soviet Psychiatric Continuum, which is a pet peeve of mine. Indeed, I'm going to leave it there.